an opening into the divine potential, the grace, you know, the love that, is supposed to be what's true about us. And so if it's already true, then we shouldn't have to try for it and strive for it and find out that somehow it's still against our nature. What we have to do is we have to realize that it's who we think we are, where we're wrong about it, that traps us and binds us, because you don't challenge the truth. You challenge things that you perceive as lies, but the things that you perceive as truth and real, when that goes unexamined, then we're all in trouble. Because unless the truth and the reality of who you are is present in each moment, in each of your connections, in each of your interactions, and all you're going to be doing is playing a role as a particular personality that has no resemblance whatsoever to the magnificence of anyone and everyone that lets a little bit of their divine potential flow through into their expression of who and what they are here. And so, despite the you that you know that I am, I'm also this. I'm a guy that is saying, yeah, I believe. And not only do I believe, I know, I open, I experience, and I understand what it is to have a peak conscious experience where I experience myself in a transcendent way, and so I know that it's true for everyone. And so I just kind of puzzle that when we're successful enough to create all this free time, or the ability to spend more time getting more things, and that we don't take a moment and say, do I truly understand the purpose and reason of my life here, why I came here, what needs to be done, and what will make my life worth living and well lived when I look back on it and say, thank you, I came and I did it, exactly what I needed to do. And it feels good to have done what I did. So that's what we're looking for. That's what you're looking for. That's what I'm looking for. That's what everybody's looking for. How do you move from a life where that's difficult and painful, and maybe traumas in the past? How does all of that become irrelevant? How do you move from being stuck with all of the all the idiots, and that don't know anything about anything, and yet you're an example of about as good as it gets, and yet you're still dumb as fuck. And so what chance does humanity have? How does somebody truly embody their own eternal nature? What does it take for the divine to be at home in you, for you, and as you? The God in the temple of the body. We believe that, we talk about that, we imagine that, we dream about that, but when are we going to say yes and open and experience that as a living body? Isn't that the whole point? Come follow me. And as what? As the Son of God, as the embodiment of God consciousness. And greater works than I have done will ye do. So maybe he didn't mean that for everybody. Maybe he didn't mean that to happen for a long, long time. But maybe at some point in that future time, somebody chooses to say yes to that and does it. And since you know that if anybody did it, it would work, Christ was a demonstration of that. That's exactly what he said. Do it like me, and you'll be true too. So, Consider making a choice, Consider wanting to say yes, and then moving into a point where you realize how stupid it is that you ever considered to say no, that you wanted to damn yourself here, that you wanted to stop yourself up, you wanted to walk around in confusion and delusion and misuse your life here in some sort of way to survive well or feel better or to win or something. But you did that already, and you have what you have, and you are what you are. And isn't it about time that you take a look over the horizon and say, what's next for me? What's next?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, what's next for me? What's my potential? What's left of what I could have been here that I can still be? My age and my circumstances, with my health, with this body, what remains of my previous infinite potential that could be realized with the tool, with the body, with the consciousness, with the identity, the personality, and the connections and circumstances? How much can that accept a divine download of self? That the truth that would set you free, your own divine expression. Not in diminishing Christ's or Buddha's or anyone else, but simply in doing what they said. Come join us, man. One with God. Be one with us. You'll be one with God. Because you'll be God consciousness too. You can't be one with a demigod without being one with God, and which means you're aware as God consciousness yourself. So if that's the truth, why would you shut that down and not experience yourself with that, or not let that happen if it was an option for you? And as you're considering about whether or not that's an option for you, you can feel your heart relaxing and melting a little bit, and the tension starting to drain out of your body, and your body starting to realize that you're waking up. That you're taking responsibility for your own awareness, your own consciousness, your own freedom. You're saying, okay, so if I have an eternal nature, if I have an eternal consciousness, if I have a divine heritage, then God damn it, it's time for me to experience that and express that and to know what that is myself, because I'm so far away from that, I have no idea. In fact, all I have is an idea of it. I don't have any muscular memory of it. I don't have any conscious realization from it at all. So it's a move into your own awakening to experience who and what you are in the moment at the same time that you open into the expression of the eternal and the universal as something that is experienced in you, as yourself, and as others experience you. There should be a joy and a peace, a relief when people experience that consciousness from someone else. So nobody can misuse it when they open up to it themselves, because they just love whatever it is they're connected to. And so you'd never harm it, but you always inspire it to choose better. So that's what a divine consciousness, a divine presence would have as an effect in this reality. It would be an inspiration so compelling that everybody says yes, because it's home frequency, it's home consciousness, it's home reality when we're the lost sheep, so it's yay, we get to go home. We're waking up, we're not being what we have been anymore. We get to experience a level of truth that is a lot more comfortable. And then you meditate on that, and you choose to open into that, and you choose to stay open and allow your body to shift. You allow the consciousness and the frequency to rise and expand. So if that's enough, I'll stop, or I'll keep going.
No, that's a pretty good action.
Pretty surprising, I know. I apologize for that.
No, I mean, no, I like it. I mean, I've been thinking a lot about a lot of stuff, you know.
Really?
You know, yeah, like where I'm going, what's the next thing I'm going to do, you know, because, I've been pretty much, on autopilot the last 20 years,
Right, exactly. Man, it's time to man up now. We're in our last decade of virility, really, and so it's time.
Right, I think the last few years I've been feeling my mortality a little bit, because you start thinking that, I've been in this, 30 years, more than that, 30 years, where am I going to be? Am I going to be around in 30 more years? Probably not.
And are you going to keep doing your profession? No, once you get good enough at your profession to make enough to last the rest of your life, you're supposed to stop and say, okay, I got it. Now my consciousness can be free to contemplate the eternal nature of consciousness until I embody it, and that takes a lot of alone time.
I can do it. I can do a lot more for myself, for my family, for the people I've been doing.
Exactly.